We have time for one last question. So if any brave soul wants to just jump in, feel free. We've got one more question.
I'll take it if possible.
Dennis.
Beautiful.
You're up.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for your time, and it's been very informative and thought-provoking session. So it's thank you for that. And I actually also wondered for some time, specifically due to truck and shift, because this is realistically it's going to cause a global shift. There are probably about 6 million people, at least in the US, that are going to be directly affected by it, not just truck drivers. I think there's about 3 million plus people that support them. And then on top of that, all the restaurants that are on routes that rely on basically trucking as their sole source of income, all the small restaurants and so forth. So so what are some of the thoughts, and what would you tell some of those small business owners, some restaurant owners, and what are some of the thoughts of what will their lives look like, and how will it shift, because the life as they know is going away?
Yeah, well, that is the reason why I got into this line of work in the first place, because at that very conference, I started going down the rabbit hole of, you know, what about the truck drivers and the mom and pop gas stations and the diners and all of the ancillary industries that have grown up around this. So it's not just a one hit impact, you know, what we do over here impacts what's happening over there. So first and foremost, right, this isn't all doom and gloom, and it's not going to happen, you know, in the next 20 minutes. So let's take a breath for a moment and say, okay, but since we know it's coming, since we already know, and in fact, we have a map, right? The technology and the companies that are producing this technology are coming out into the world. Economists are saying, here are the industries, here are the job titles, here are the companies that will likely be most impacted by this. So we see what industries are in ascension and decline, what jobs are up to be replaced by robots or computerized. That gives us enough time to say, okay, if I can see my role is going to be taken over, now is the day. Today's the day where I need to say, okay, what's the job that hasn't been invented yet that's coming on the horizon? How might I be able to retrain myself? What other skills might I want to adapt? How could I get my current employer to pay for and invest in what's coming for a next step? And some people might say, oh, but you know, I don't want to change my job, or I don't want to do this. And this is where that being willing to let go of the past and the way things are or were becomes important. And it doesn't mean that it feels good, but we actually have the tools in our hands right now to see what's going to be unfolding. And so I would stop and say, what's going to happen in my industry, or what can I tell best case scenario is going to be happening here? What steps would I like to take to empower myself moving forward?
Because there needs to be a huge educational process with those small business owners and so forth, because they need to be transparent with their employees as well, that this is the time for the employees to start looking in other directions.
Yeah, if they can see it, yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.